Here I am. I am a guy who has never been in the aquarium hobby, aquascape hobby, fish hobby, plant hobby, cycling hobby, all the things that go with having fish in your home. Something I have never done. When I was a kid, though, I have to admit, I was very young. My father did go out and get us a fish tank, and I really neglected those poor guys at the time. I was very young, though. But he did do that for me, and we went through some fish for sure. I didn't really know what was going on. I had these fish swimming around in our basement, and it was kind of neat. But here I am now, many years later, somebody who's never done what we're doing in the hobby of aquariums, and I just find it so fascinating. Now, I have a little story. I'm going to keep it real short, but I bought this home. I'm in the West Palm Beach area in Florida, and I bought this home 20 plus years ago, just over 20 years ago. I didn't really live in it for quite a while. I had another home up north, and I came down here. I put a pond in the front of my house, and I thought that was just so neat, to have that pond. And I didn't put anything in it. It was just there for a waterfall as a feature. I had it, and I let it go, and it kind of filled itself in with leaves and debris and what have you. And some plants got in there and started growing and rooted themselves. And about 7 months ago, I dug it out, and I reestablished it. I got the waterfall going, bought a new pump, put in some goldfish. They're thriving. And then I put in some rosy barbs. They're doing well. Again, being in the West Palm Beach, Florida area, I have the ability of putting tropical fish outside year round, and I've done it now. It was here in the winter. It got cold a couple nights, but the fish are thriving. I put some guppies in there. I have a crayfish in there. I put snails in there. Mystery snails. I put in ram's horn snails. They're all thriving. Everything's doing great. Okay. Now I had a little problem with it recently, but I just had to clean it all out and get everything all. I have a nice little bio filter on it. Everything's doing great, but I had to go outside all the time to go look at this pond, to look at the fish, and I really enjoyed it. And I said to myself one day, why don't you bring the fish inside? In other words, go get yourself an aquarium. Didn't know what I was doing, had no idea what cycling was, had no idea what a balanced aquarium was. I went out and got a 10-gallon kit from Aqueon, and I put the tank together, and I lost the first fish I put in. I lost. I mean, I was like, "What's wrong? What's going on here? What's wrong with these fish? Why are they not living?" I went and got some more, and they died again. I was like, I gotta start watching. I gotta understand what's going on." So I did. I put in countless hours watching YouTube. Now I primarily watch Father Fish, who introduced me to the planted aquarium, the planted dirt and sand capped aquarium, an ecosystem. And I just thought that was so fascinating that, this Halstad method, you put an inch of dirt and 2 inches of sand. You put your plants in there. You heavily plant your aquariums to create a ecosystem. The plants create oxygen for the fish. The fish produce waste, which creates the ammonia and the nitrites and nitrates. And I'm learning about all these things. Now, I also like Fishery with Alexander Williamson. I like that. MD Fish Tanks over in England. I think he's a really talented guy. I think Alexander Williamson with Fishery is a brilliant guy, knows his stuff. It's like, like listening to a scientist explain aquariums. And then Father Fish is just down to earth, hands on, get his hands dirty with these dirted tanks, and it works for me. Now I have dirted tanks with sand caps. I do heavily plant my aquariums, and they do great. But now I want to get more into the aquascaping because of MD. And I just think it's so cool. Now I'm never going to be as talented as he is. I don't have access to all the stones and the driftwoods and the pieces of wood and the plants and the inventory he has alone, the lighting, the tanks, etc. But nonetheless, I'm doing it and I'm loving it. Now, I need your help. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do everything I can to teach people what works for me, from experience, what has worked for me. Again, countless hours. I have scoured, um, the YouTube. I watched video after video after video over and over and over again. And I have learned so much. So I'm just putting together things that work for me. I would love to get your input, your comments. I would love for people to get involved with Rich Aquatics. And I'd like to really build a membership or subscriptions or a fan base, whatever you call it in YouTube, where we can share ideas, get to know each other, maybe visit if we're in an area or I'm traveling, and we get to make friends in this hobby. I think it's just a fantastic hobby. I have all the equipment. I have all the video equipment. I have the headsets. I did broadcasting before, so I'm sitting here with all these expensive cameras that I can use and systems and setups. And I just think it's great for me at my age, semi-retired, basically retired, to be able to have a hobby like aquariums. I think it's just great, the aquascaping. So the funny thing is, I find is that I love having my aquariums, but I just really love building them. I just love the whole idea of creating new tanks, new scenery, new biotopes, I think you call it. With some substrates and some stones and some planting and hills and all kinds of designs. I think it's just great. But again, I could use your help. I really would appreciate if you would hit subscribe. You can optionally do notifications if you don't want to be bothered. Don't hit it, but you can hit notifications. But most importantly, single most important thing to me is to be able to educate people who are just getting into this, people who just bought their first tank, et cetera, people who are mid level, even better. But I just want to I want a video. I want to share my experiences. I want you to share your experiences with us here at Rich Aquatics. I think it would be great. And I so look forward to it. So, my introduction for anybody who's listening, please subscribe. I'm only saying that because I would love to build a network of individuals that love aquariums and the hobby of building aquariums and the ecosystems that come along with it and all the tranquil enjoyment that you get from the hobby. Thank you. And I will be putting videos out on a regular basis.